What's up, y'all? You already know it's none other than your boy JGiddins, the father. I hope y'all like the shirt extraterrestrial because it describes me as I am an extraterrestrial, right? All right, but look, man, this is another episode of my D-Log. This is for the night of May 15th. I didn't do a D-Log and I was supposed to do this morning, so I apologize to everybody who may have been interested in seeing me post that for not doing it earlier, but yeah, I just didn't. But I didn't have a dream the past 2 days or so. When's the last? I don't know when the last one I did was. I think the last one I did was May 13th. But I didn't have a dream. Or I had one, but I couldn't recall it vividly. Enough for me to even do this. So again, this is going to be D-Log for May 15th. I'll try to go as fast as possible because it's kind of lengthy. This was a very vivid dream that I remember in great detail. Let's go. So the first note, I'm going to read each stanza that I have off and just kind of, summarize and go over it. First one, I was in California. What's up, Goddess? Oh, okay. I was in California for some reason. I remember being at some sort of a party where P. Diddy was, and he was following me around and being promiscuous and trying to touch me. I avoided him as much as possible. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. I was at some sort of a party. I guess this must have been conjured up because of the things that I know about Diddy and what he does. And any of those who have your third eye open and are not completely sleeping this matrix, you already know where that comes from. But this is the way that my dream kind of started off as far as I remember. Next stanza. Finally, I wanted to leave and regroup. Testing. By the way, I hope my audio is good for you guys on YouTube. Finally, I wanted to leave and regroup with several people I had come with. I remember asking LL Cool J. LL Cool J was there. I remember asking LL Cool J if he could help me with getting home. I don't recall his exact response. My grandmother and a few other indistinguished family/friends were there. We all headed to the airport. One of my family members flashed a gun. Okay, so I just wrote, look, guys, when I write these things down, I literally wake up out of my sleep and just write them down as soon as I can. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night, so it may be just sporadically written. Now, basically, when I was at the party, I regrouped with the family and friends. I asked LL Cool J to help me with getting home. I don't remember if he did or not. I just remember that happened. I know my grandmother was there amongst a few other people that I can't quite remember who they were or what I remember about them specifically. Also, I know one of my family members flashed a gun at me, or they kind of like showed me a gun and was mentioning it to me. I can't remember exactly what that was for, but I think it was probably symbolic. What's up, Jessimo? Appreciate you stopping by. Next stanza. On the drive, we were near a large body of water called the Commonwealth of California. We briefly discussed how this water belongs to everyone and it's unfair to be being paid for and controlled. So basically, while I was in California, while I was driving to the airport, after, like I said, I had spoke to the indistinguished members of my family and friends. While we was driving in a car, we saw a big body of water, which was Commonwealth. It was called the Commonwealth of California. And we just had a quick conversation in the car about how the water was for everybody. And this probably comes from my general perception that the world right now, we should not be paying for things that we're paying for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even going to go into detail about that. But that's what happened there. So this is more so just for me to log this in my D-Log so that I can keep a log of my dreams and it can help me access the part of my brain that remembers my memories or my dreams. All right, so the next stanza. Once arriving at the airport, I noticed D-Man was behind me. He didn't say anything. I just know he was there and also boarding. Van Jones was our pilot. This was very shocking and awkward to me. So D-Man, anybody who knows me, is like a guy that was like a brother to me my whole life. I mean, really, or at least my whole teenage to adult life. We was always together, inseparable, but there was something that took place where we just stopped talking. But for some reason, he still has some sort of value to me in my mind and or heart because he's showing up in my dreams. You know what I mean? But anyway, I noticed he was behind me. Van Jones, for anybody who doesn't know who Van Jones is, he's a CNN reporter. Like, you can Google Van Jones and see who he is. He was the pilot to the plane. He was the pilot on the plane. Let me just move on to the next stanza. And that was shocking to me and awkward, because why would Van Jones be flying a plane? Because he doesn't fly planes. He's a reporter. So that's why it was awkward and shocking. All right, so next stanza. He gave an opening announcement about how no one could use their phone on the plane or talk because the previous group had been too disruptive during the flight. Basically, I remember even when he was giving the speech, he sounded like he had an attitude over the mic. You know how the pilot comes over the mic and kind of like just, gives the speech about putting the mask on if you can't, if there's some sort of an emergency and the plane goes down, and they give you the safety precautions, all that kind of stuff, tell you to be kind to one another, all that, right? While he was doing that is when he gave the announcement about us not using our phones and not speaking, because he didn't like how loud the previous people were and rambunctious they were. Moving on to the second page. So I recall, I recall that one of the people who were with me needed a phone charger as her phone was losing battery life. I checked mine and vividly remember seeing the low battery symbol. We looked for charging ports as we took our seats. So that's pretty self-explanatory. When I was getting on the plane, we were like picking our seats out. I think I sat somewhere near my grandmother, but I remember like, wow, I remember like looking on the wall trying to find, I was looking on the wall trying to find a port for me to plug my phone into. And I remember overhearing her voice, the girl who I can't identify quite specifically right now. I remember her like asking for a charging port too, and just complaining about how her battery was dead too. Anyway, let's move on. So next stanza, right? And again, I'm reading these stanza for stanza, right? Reading these stanza for stanza, right? Just going through it. We almost done. So Van Jones took off attempting to fly the plane using a street unfamiliar. Van Jones took off attempting to fly the plane using a street unfamiliar with as the Strip. There were cars on the road. He was unsuccessful his first takeoff, even after using some sort of a booster to propel us forward. So I remember that when we were in the plane, like there was a street that I'm familiar with. I can't remember what the street was. It was like a big street, and there were cars on the street, but we were still trying to fly the plane on it. Like, I just remember that we were on the street. Yeah, that's about the most I can come up with for that. We were on the street, and then he took off, and after he took off, he pressed the button, and we like, boom, like took off. It was like a booster, and we took off to like jet off into the air. But then, let me move to the next one, so that I don't jump ahead, because my memory's coming back as I'm thinking about it. But all right, next stanza. This is the second to last stanza. Ironically, we crash landed smoothly and ended up near a McDonald's. I stepped off the plane to piss. I stepped off the plane to piss, and Van Jones asked to get him a warm water. He asked me to get him a warm water. I went into the McDonald's, where I remember the employee chatting as I walked in. She pointed at the beverage machine, pointing at the water. I grabbed a cup and got some warm water. So that's pretty much straightforward as well. But basically, after I said we had that big jolt of like booster when we were in the air, I had to use the bathroom when we crash landed. So somehow like we crash landed, but it was kind of smooth, but not so much, which is why I still describe it as a crash landing. And I had to use the bathroom. So I got off to use the bathroom, and I went to the McDonald's because for some reason landed right next to a McDonald's. McDonald's has appeared in my previous dreams too. So I don't know if it's something about McDonald's, but anyway, I went into McDonald's, and there was a girl, ghetto chick in the front talking, yeah, girl, I went to my whatever. She was just doing that when I walked in, and then she looked over at me like, and then I was looking at her, and I was like, I don't know if I said, do y'all have water? I feel like I said, do you have water? But either way, she ended up pointing at the machine. I remember she pointed like this, and I looked over, I saw the machine, and it had like Coke, Sprite, and then it had water, and it had cold, warm, hot. And I remember he said warm, so I grabbed the cup, I put it under the warm water, and I filled it up. And then I walked out, right? Let me not jump ahead. This is the last stanza. So I returned to the plane and gave Van Jones the water. After making my way back to my seat, we prepared for another takeoff. This time we were on a street that was downhill to add momentum. The rest of the dream is unclear to me after that. This is what I remember clearly after awaking. So basically, I got back on the plane. I gave him the warm water. What's up, Miss Imani? I'm mad you came in at the end. I was describing my dream. It's part of my D-log from last night. But basically, I got back on the plane. I gave Van Jones the warm water. And then I made my way back to my seat. And we tried to take off again. And I just don't remember much from that. I know that we had like a downhill slope as we were going up. So we went downhill so we could get some more boost, and then we went back up. And that was pretty much it. That's about all I remember. So, again, the purpose of me doing this video was, again, for, I guess, the entertainment or the satisfaction that anybody who gets out of seeing my videos or seeing me describe this stuff. I do that for you and also for myself, and also to help my mind accessing the parts of the brain that search for your dreams or search for the memories associated with your dreams. Because as I speak this to you, it's coming back to my memory. Like I even remember the street that was familiar to me, but I don't know what the street was. But I remember the street that was familiar to me that we were flying the plane on. I remember Van Jones. I remember him clearly giving that speech over the intercom to everybody, telling us, that we need to not be disruptive and, rambunctious. All right. That's about all I got for you guys, though. For anybody who did watch this video, I want to thank you very much. If you made it through, that means a lot to me that you did. I hope that me doing this inspires you to do something. I don't know if it's maybe remember your own dreams or cater yourself to your dreams, or just something that you want to do that you haven't taken that extra step to put yourself into. Hopefully I can inspire that. Okay, that's not coming off. I love y'all. Peace to the gods and goddesses out there who know what you are. Those who are gods and goddesses who don't know what you are and you still sleep in the matrix, peace to you too. And I love you, obviously. To those who are not gods and goddesses, I love you as well, because I'm not biased or feeling any kind of negativity towards anybody, at least not at this moment. Y'all remember to be positive, be optimistic, keep positive people in your circle, baby, as those three things are key to ensuring positivity is invited into your future. And until next time, it's your boy JGiddins out, baby.